2 ways to overcome fear. And these are from my personal experience in life, so this is not anything more than just philosophy of Robert. One is gratitude. I've found it impossible to be fearful and grateful at the same time. If I let my mind stop for a moment and feel gratitude, even in moments of despair and difficulty, it makes all the difference in my life. The next way to overcome fear that I've found personally is to be intentional in my decisions. Everything that happens to you in your life can either be the best thing that ever happened to you, or it could be the worst. It's about your perception of that. About 18 months ago, I had a terrible, humiliating experience in my life. I had left a wonderful job 2 years before, and I left because I was recruited by Warburg Pincus, a very large private equity fund, to become CEO of Bausch & Lomb Surgical. And the intent was to spin out that business and to take that as a separate business and really try to derive value from it. And it was a dog of a business at the time. It wasn't performing very well at all. During the course of the next year, we changed the metrics of the business. It succeeded. It did really well. After a year and a half, I was ready. Okay, the company's doing great. Our employee willingness to recommend scores are really high. All of our scores across customer willingness to recommend are really high. It's time. Well, because we started doing so well and forecasted great growth, the parent decided they weren't going to spin off the business and that they could derive greater value by selling it to one party, the entire company. My hopes were dashed. I was broken. That night, I flew home from New York City, very broken. I actually threw up on the airplane. And the next morning, I woke up, and I remember thinking, today can be the worst day of my life, or it can be the best. It's up to me. I decided it was going to be the best. Later that day, I had an idea to create the first Medicare opt-out company in all of healthcare. The first company that takes no money from the government. I didn't realize how big of an idea that could be. It's a year and a half later, and Friday, just yesterday, I toured the Bausch & Lomb building. Bausch & Lomb was just bought by Valeant for $9 billion. I toured the Bausch & Lomb building and made a bid on the property in 18 months. What can your mind do in 18 months if you free yourself from fear? Nelson Mandela spent 29 years in prison as a political prisoner, having done nothing wrong except express his ideology and philosophy. Every day while they made him chip stone, he remembered one poem by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.